my little fancy, beautiful shank. Hey Wastelanders, this is Gary, and I'm back. I keep getting sick, and my reviews keep falling off, but I'm feeling good today. I felt good yesterday, so I said, man, I need to do a review. So I don't want to hang on to this knife any longer. And so this review is going to be about the Thug by Weed Knives. And I got this knife, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago. So I need to get it on to the next person. This is a Apex pass around group knife, and yeah. So this knife is a cool little EDC. Honestly, I thought it would be bigger. And I haven't quite got the flipper action down. If you've been watching my channel, I often say I hate thumb studs, because I do. But this is a good thumb stud flipper when I'm not slipping my finger off of the thumb stud and fucking it up. So the knife is a great thumb stud flicker. So this knife was designed by Matthew Christensen. I had to look him up. He has some nice customs. In fact, he has a knife called the Brute. You should see that here. Which, if you remember, I was calling this knife the Brute during the unboxing. I forgot temporarily. I forgot the name, and I was calling this knife the Brute. This knife is the Thug. So a link to his website, it will be in the description. So let's go over some specs of the knife. The blade is CPM 20CV steel. It's of course a Tanto. It has a convex grind, if you can tell that. I'll put up some pictures, but it's a gray hand rubbed blade steel. I don't know if you can tell, but all the titanium parts and the steel were hand rubbed. It's quite lovely looking. So it's a frame lock. It's only tip up right hand carry. Sorry lefties, that's how it is. Dual thumb stud manual flipper. Let's see if I can flip it out reliably and not fuck it up. Anyway, it's on ceramic bearings. I haven't taken it apart because I can't take it apart, this knife. I can't take a borrowed knife apart, but I don't know if it's a dual roll ceramic bearings, a hand rubbed titanium as well as the steel. And the presentation side has marble carbon fiber. It has like a bronze pivot collar and pivot screw on this side. It's quite a lovely knife. I like the thumb studs too. They enhance the design. So let's do a couple of knife comparisons. And honestly, I'm going to compare it to a knife that's kind of similar in materials. This is a marble carbon fiber, and this is a titanium, but it's not hand rubbed or anything, and it's quite cheaper than this knife, but it just kind of reminded me of it because it has a Tanto blade too. So this is the Real Steel control. If you're familiar with the Real Steel control, you can see this knife is quite bigger than this Thug. And let me move it. So I brought out this knife. This knife is the Evolve Apache. It's made by Evolve, but the parent company's BRS, Blade Runner Systems. If you're not familiar with them, they make Bali songs. But this knife kind of reminded me only of this cutout. When I saw this cutout on the top of the frame, this knife reminded me of this. This knife is a flipper. Thank God. I really like flippers or thumb holes. Not really great with thumb studs. This knife reminded me of this knife. So, and I almost kept reaching for a flipper tab because I'm used to the flipper tab on this knife. It's kind of the same feeling, you know? So, oh man. All right, let's get this out of the way. So this knife, the Evolve of Apache, kind of reminded me of it because it's similar in size. But even though it's similar in size, the Apache's bigger than the Thug too. Go figure. And if you want to see it with a compared against a familiar knife, this is a Benchmade Bug Out. So it's smaller than the Benchmade Bug Out. Okay, let's go over some measurements of the knife. The handle is 3.8 inches, and if you go look on Blade HQ, most of their dimensions are off. I did my own dimensions or measurements, and my measurements differ greatly from Blade HQ. The blade's 2.7 inches, and the cutting edge, believe it or not, is roughly 2.7 inches too. It's a little bit under. It's measuring from the tip to this, it's about the same. It's overall, it's a 6.5 inch knife. The handle thickness is 0.53 inches, and the blade thickness is 0.16 inches. The edge thickness is 0.02 inches. That seems to be a running common factor of knives. There'll be 0.03 or 0.02. The knife weighed 3.56 ounces. You could see it's centered straight. Let's show you the lockup. Knife. It's just a little close. But anyway, the lockup appears to be, I would say 45%. Let me know if you agree. And otherwise, my final thoughts, I'm honored to have the ability to check this knife out courtesy of We and the Apex group. It would probably be out of my personal budget at $258 normally. I don't spend that much on a knife unless I've been drooling over the knife. I kind of drooled over this knife a little bit, but I don't think it's a knife for me unless I save up. And there's a lot of knives coming down the road, and I'll probably look for a sale, like maybe 10, 50% off sale or something, or probably pick it up in the aftermarket. This knife it's kind of a small knife. But its name fits it. If I could change its name, I would call it the Little Brute, Little Brute. It's a good looking knife and it seems well made. I especially like the hand rubbed steel and titanium. I think they're beautiful. For me, I wish it was a flipper or a top opener. That's just my feelings because I suck at thumb studs. I'm excellent at spidey holes, but I can use my spidey flicking finger. This will be a knife not for me based on its price. It's kind of out of the ballpark on price wise, unless I save up some cash. But if I were to buy it in the future, I'll probably end up buying it in the future. I would more likely go with the full titanium scales. Not anything that is not any bad that have to do with the carbon fiber. I just like the hand rubbed titanium and the hand rubbed steel, and I want to just get more of it. And I know they have two versions of the titanium scales. I'm assuming they're both rubbed, but it's just a lighter and darker titanium. I mean, the hand rub looks just so beautiful. I want more of it. If you have the money, I would recommend this little beast of a knife. I find it excellent. Other than price, I mean, if it was $200, I would buy it instantly. But it's like near $300, $258, $260. If you pay shipping, unless you get on White Mountain Knives, I would recommend it if you have the money to spend. So I hope you like this review. I liked giving it to you. If you want to leave a comment, a like, or please consider subscribing, that would be fantastic. Take care, Wastelanders.